Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking the video and subscribing to the channel are free and easy for you, and they help me out a lot. If you want to go further with your support, Patreon and YouTube membership offer access to the BoshNRoll Discord community, early access to lists, written content, things like that. You can have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use YouTube membership, you also get sweet badges and emotes integrated here into YouTube. You can support the channel while you shop at tcgplayer.com by using my affiliate link in the video description, and you can play any deck anytime by using a cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. If you want to wear your support, check out the merch store. And of course, thanks for being here. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today, I am playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber TJW. This is Czech Pile. If you're not familiar with what Czech Pile is, it's a shortcut that Legacy boomers use to say 4-color control, which I guess isn't really descriptive anymore because most control decks are 4 colors, but specifically the history is that Tomáš Mar, a player from the Czech Republic, hence Czech Pile, brewed and worked on this insane 4-color control deck. It was every color except white around like the 2017 era of Legacy. The deck was tied together by Deathrite Shaman and just played all the best spells. That should sound familiar. These days we kind of call it blue soup, and most control decks are blue soup. We have red bant, dark bant, light saltai, whatever the hell. I've seen this combination of colors too. This is every color except green, but I saw it in a Planeswalker heavy Hiratsugu Consumes All shell, which is not this. This is a very different thing. This is a Murktide Regent deck. Tomáš Mar put that deck on the map. Andrei Strasky learned from his friend Tomas and top-8 Eternal Weekend in 2017. Tomáš Mar was in the top 8 with me at Eternal Weekend Paris 2019 in the vintage top 8. He was also playing 4-color control, and I was really glad when I didn't have to play him because his deck was unbeatable for me. So there is a long pedigree of Czech players building powerful 4-color control decks. And TJW is tapping into that now. And this new take is a little different than every other 4-color control deck I've seen. When I try to make sense of 4-color control decks, I try to figure out what the core colors are. Sometimes there's a core color pair. Like Bant decks are core blue-green, and then they splash white and another color. Some 4-color control decks are splash blue-white, some are blue-red, you get it. Some are pretty firmly in a single wedge with a splash color, and I think that's where we are here. This is an Esper deck with Expressive Iteration. That's where the 4th color comes in, but all of the main deck spells are Esper, except for the undeniable Expressive Iteration, where this deck is very different than other 4-color control decks. No green, which means no Uro. Our lands are coming into play one at a time, fair and square. Our threats, when they're answered, are going to stay in the graveyard. They're not going to come back out. But since we're not using our graveyard for anything else, we get Murktide Regent. This card doesn't need an introduction at this point, just the bane of Legacy for a while. I don't know if it's a bane in Modern, but certainly powerful in Modern as well. And what this deck is trying to do is this very old school discard suite of Inquisition, Thoughtseize, Hymn to Tourach, and Snapcaster Mage to send them all back around again. These kind of clear the way for Teferi, which then clears the way for Murktide Regent, and you can go coast to coast pretty quick. And if you need to slow things down, you're also a control deck with Baleful Strix, Swords to Plowshares, Force of Will. The plan here is pretty clear. I love a Snapcaster Mage centered control deck. We haven't seen that in a long time. Endurance kinda put the screws to Snapcaster Mage, but if you're also a heavy Teferi deck, you don't have to worry about Endurance so much, so I like that overlap there. The Snapcaster Mages and Murktide Regents explain why there's no Hiratsugu Consumes All in this deck, even though it's a control deck that can afford to cast it. It is contrary to many of your threats, so we just don't get to play that one. But I haven't played a control deck with Murktide Regent in it yet. I think I've played combo decks and tempo decks and mid-range decks, but an actual control deck with Murktide Regent as a finisher, I'm pretty excited to try. We see kind of a smorgasbord of options in the sideboard, one Mentor, one Narset, a couple of Plague Engineers, and then a ton of red cards. Most of the red cards you want to play in Legacy are sideboard cards, so leaned in there. The plan's pretty clear here. The one thing I'm really worried about is Uro. I think if we don't pair into any Bant control decks, we're going to have a pretty good time here. And I think we are going to be cold as ice to Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. And Swords to Plowshares helps a lot there. And we could control them with Surgical. I would probably have to bring in Surgical against any Uro deck, even though I don't really like Surgical in fair matchups, but Uro kind of makes things unfair when you're a discard deck. I'm worried about Uro, is what I'm saying. But everything else, the plan looks pretty clear. And I like what we're doing here. This is 2017 Magic ported into 2022, updated with Modern Horizons 2. A little bit color shifted, but Czech Pile was arguably the best deck, or one of the best decks in the Deathrite Shaman era of Magic. And this is a pretty reasonable spiritual predecessor of that, or spiritual, whatever the reverse of predecessor is, spiritual inheritor of that. Let's jump into this league. I'm on the draw in round number 1, and I'm going to keep this hand. In trouble to Wasteland, but so is every hand this deck has. Not a single basic to be found. But I do get to Inquisition on turn 1, which is not something I've done in Legacy in quite some time. Let's have a peek at what you're up to, true hero. Oh good, we get to play against Uro immediately. Well, this is some sort of bug Uro deck. The maximum number of Strix is allowed by law. I'll take the Baleful one, because Icefang Quaddle takes more work than that. The sweat here is this a Loam Wasteland type of bug deck, or just a value type of bug deck? Or are those things exclusive? Oh, yikes. Don't really want to put Uro in the graveyard for them, but I'm definitely casting him to Tourach. It's not getting any sweeter. Blast. They can Icefang Quaddle in response here, at the very least. Just get that thing into play. There it is. And the winner is the Snuff Out and the Uro. Of course, the Uro would hit the graveyard. Naturally. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Get to keep their swamp. I do have Swords to Plowshare, so Uro's in under reasonable enough control. Gonna need to find a red source for these expressive iterations before my life becomes pain. Oh. You got all this going on, too. Okay, I'm gonna Swords to Plowshares that. Because that eats the graveyard, which means Uro's not coming for a while. Red source? Okay, I'm going to Brainstorm first. I'd like to hit a land drop here. Okay, that is a red land. I can put the iterations both back. That's a next turn situation. Play my Savai Triome. And Swords to Plowshares this Murktide Regent. Got a little Murky Regent of my own on deck here. Unfortunately, that's the requisite number of snow permanents. Plus, we know there's this swamp in hand. Ponder did not shuffle, played the swamp that we knew about. Yeah, these infinite number of snakes is pretty rough. I think I need to Iteration right now. I know Iteration is under my top card. The option is Murktide Regent, which facing down a pair of Death Touch idiots is not really what I want to be. Yeah, I'm just going to start getting my cards ahead and hope there's something I can cast in here. Okay, cool. I'm going to put second Expressive Iteration in my hand. Strix to the bottom. Exile Plow. Not super excited to plow this, but I'm glad I hit anything at all. Almost didn't. That Swords to Plowshares. Oh god, you're a Shardless Agent deck too. This is fun. Witherbloom Command. No good targets for that. Just gonna have to like drain me and try to pick up a land. Yep, they did hit a land. That does fuel Uro, but that could have been a lot worse. Being a Shardless Agent deck tells me a lot about what counterspells they could have, so they're not gonna have like Veil of Summer or actual counterspell of any kind. They could have Mystical Dispute. We saw Force of Negation. I'm gonna Iteration again. This is 3 fresh looks, really trying to hit land drops. Okay, found the land. I'm going to put Ponder in my hand, Force on the bottom, exile Volcanic Island, play Volcanic Island. And this mana does not cast Murktide Regent. I can Prismatic Ending the Coatl now, or I can wait on that. I could Ponder now. Yeah, that checks. Thoughtseize. And a land underneath it. Okay, I'm going to Swords to Plowshares, Uro, when it escapes this turn, and then next turn I'll Thoughtseize them and then cast Murktide. Of course, if they just attack with their 2 creatures and don't cast a spell, this plan gets a little worse, but it's all good. Expect us to fetch a green source here and go for the Uro. We're going to let it resolve. Plow before the trigger. Figure that out. You're up to 4 cards in hand and 32 life. Didn't put a land in, so all 4 of those cards are spells. Let's find out what they are specifically. Grist, Brainstorm, 2 Abrupt Decays. Okay. The options here are take Grist, let them Brainstorm, take Grist, force Brainstorm, take Brainstorm, force Grist. I think I want to take Brainstorm and force Grist because I don't care about Abrupt Decay. That's actually really bad. Yeah, I'm going to take Brainstorm and force the Grist. My top card is Force of Will, by the way. I gotta pay attention to my graveyard because I am a Snapcaster deck. And Max Daddy Murktide Regent right here. I guess I can... Oh, nope. Savai Triumph does not make blue. I was about to say I can cast Brainstorm, pick up the other force, cast Force. But that's not actually a thing I can do. Force the Grist. And it's 2 Abrupt Decays and 1 mystery card. And I can answer the Ice Fang Coatl that's in my way right now. I think Tundra? Yeah, I have 2 red sources, 2 blue, 2 white. Fair, Tundra. Let's spread the love. Oh, Teferi. You know, if I could have cheated and chosen what card I wanted to draw, it probably would have been Teferi. Though Bouncing Shardless Agent isn't exactly sexy. And I know they have Abrupt Decays in hand. Okay, white, blue, colorless. Let's test with the Teferi. I'm just gonna minus to draw a card immediately. Target nothing. So I am gonna have to race this Shardless Agent. I'm attacking for 8, but I'm at 8. I guess I am winning the race. We're on the same clock. We're both on a 4-turn clock, and I get the first attack. So 32 divided by 8 is 4. Shardless Agent. Unfortunately, not something bounceable. Oh, wait, fuck. Teferi. Oh, wait, no, they have Abrupt Decay. All right. Teferi turns off Cascade, but I was planning because they could just Abrupt Decay Teferi and redeploy Shardless Agent. Never mind. I didn't blow it. I was on the correct level. I thought I missed it for a second there. But no. Abrupt Decay is a problem. Aw, come on. All right. We are in trouble now. How about Snapcaster Mage? Tilt. There's Force of Will. Now I get to slowly die to Grist. Make a bug. Oof. Okay. This really is just like 2017 Magic. I'm going to counter the Brainstorm because I am more worried about those Abrupt Decays turning into real cards than I am about this 2/2. Like, I'm in trouble if I don't come up with a creature anyway. Oh, they have Murktide Regent. Jeez. Okay. All right. Yeah, this one slid away. Him to Tourach. Yeah, let's get rid of those and then die. Moral victory. 5, 6, 7, 8. Dead on board. Okay. Multiple Grists. This is nasty. Plague Engineer is good. Naming snake or bird or insect could all come up. I need Surgical for the Uros. Narset is going to be important. Mentor and Prismatic Ending sound important as well. I don't want Force of Negation. They didn't show many red cards. Pyroblasting Murktide Regent sounds pretty reasonable to do. Pyroblast doesn't hit Grist, but it does hit Uro and all of the Strixes. There's no way I'm going to find room for 9 cards here. Maybe the Prismatic Ending doesn't come in because I have the Rebs that are going to do a lot of that work. Force of Will, just go completely to the board. The Fairy is good against the Shardless Agent part of the deck. My Strixes can keep up with their Strixes, maybe. I have significantly fewer of them. Prismatic Ending answers Grist. Every other permanent I saw can be answered by Pyroblast. It's actually really tough. There's way more cards I want to bring in than cards I want to bring out. Yeah, with the forces out, I need some number of Prismatic Ending to pressure Grist, because it's really good at not dying to combat. And I'm really bad at producing combat anyway. Maybe I don't need both Plague Engineers. And a little thinner on Inquisition, and a little thinner. And I go thinner on Swords to Plowshares. And there are a Murktide Regent deck and an Uro deck. That seems real questionable. Fairy's good against both of those too. So is Pyroblast. Alright, fine. I'm going to do it like this. I'm not confident in that final cut, but I'm out of time to think about it. More likely, it's probably Inquisition is the last cut. And I should have the plows in. On the play, I'm going to keep this hand. Here's my Savai Triome once again. Perfect mana. Savai Triome plus Underground Sea. GG. Ooh. Thoughtseize Surgical. I have the combo. Let's see if they have Veil of Summer. Spoiler, please don't have Veil of Summer. Didn't have Veil. Strix, Bitter Blossom, Endurance. Okay. I can get 2 cards if I take Strix and Surgical Strix. The Bitter Blossom I can check with Plague Engineer or Prismatic Ending. Yeah, I'm actually taking Strix here. And I'm going to stop in their draw step, which does give them an opportunity to draw a blue card and counter my Surgical. Oh, they already have a blue card. It's Baleful Strix. Okay, yeah. No harm, no foul then. I'll give them an opportunity to draw another Strix here before Surgicaling. And I'll spend the black. Life totals matter in this matchup. What did they draw? They drew a land. Look at this deck. 2 Decays, 2 Endurance, 2 Grist, a Kaito, 2 Murktides, 3 Shardless Agents, Brainstorm, 2 Back to Basics. Yikes. I'm going to have to remember to leave up some red mana to deal with those. 3 Uros. Strix. Going out of your hand as well. Okay. Now they probably jam Bitter Blossom. And I'm going to Plague Engineer this thing. I get... Alright, this is a base Esper deck. I think it's Tundra. I have the red on the splash. I'll get Tundra. And I'll name Fairy. And now they're on an 18-turn clock. Let's go. You're at 17. Carry on. 2 lands Endurance in the hand. They did not make mana here that casts Endurance when they could have. So I'm suspecting an Ice Fang Coatl. I'm gonna ponder. Okay. I like this to Fairy. I like the land as well. I'm gonna put Ponder on the bottom, to Fairy on the top, draw Flooded Strand. And I am not going to attack into this Ice Fang Coatl. Alright. They didn't flash in Coatl. Now they actually do have Endurance mana up. But I'm drawing to Fairy, so I get to have the final say in that exchange. I know Force of Will's in their hand. Let's see what you got. Force of Will, Endurance, Mystery cards. Force, Pitching Force. Okay. And I know Endurance is there. Can pass this one, and I have a big ol' Murktide next turn. Oh, if they Endurance me now, then I won't have a big ol' Murktide next turn. Yep, that was the right decision. Okay. 1 card in their hand, about to draw to the second. Bitter Blossom already has them down to 13. Attacking. Okay. Not blocking. This is Ponder. Gonna cast Ponder first. Flooded Strand is... or Inquisition is cool. Let's have a peek over there. Oh my god, what a surprise. Another Coatl and Witherbloom command. I'm gonna strip the Coatl and exile the one that's in play. Take this Coatl. And this one... Do I need 2 red? I have 2 white, I have 2 blue, I have 2 black. Yeah, I think having 2 red so I can like Expressive Iteration into a Pyroblast effect is reasonable. Now Plague Engineer gets to push the extra damage. Witherbloom Command can drain me for life and pick up a land, so there's a small clock consideration there. I can brainstorm into Murktide this turn. Witherbloom, they drained me, picked up a land. One mystery card in hand. Narset's really good too, but I think it's Brainstorm Murktide play here. Brainstorm. Oof. Oof. Okay, Murktide, you might be on waiting duty. Here's Teferi. Gonna send the Endurance back, which does let them clear my graveyard again. But I get to make sure my Narset resolves, make sure my Plow hits the Endurance. Like, this Murktide can wait. You got it. Graveyard's gone again. Plus Teferi. Then I can blue, red. No, this is foolish. Is it foolish? Is Narset better? I'm gonna iteration. Let's go. Alright, I'll put Surgical in my hand, Pluto Delta on the bottom, exile Pluto Delta, play Delta, Plow Endurance, and then attack. I'm willing to believe I should have Narseted there, but I love an expressive iteration. Getting spells into my graveyard is a priority right now. Oh no, bummer. Okay, Bitter Blossom is a real thing now. Imita Tourach. They have one card in hand, but it will be two in their next draw step. Thanks to Teferi. Alright, set stop in your draw step. Plus Teferi. I'm gonna make Narset, making sure I leave up black. I'll have to fetch either way to make this happen, so let's figure out which one I'm going for. I don't think I need Badlands here. I think Underground Sea is the one. Okay, so blue. It doesn't matter what I tap as long as I leave up black. Savai Triome is the Mardu one, so we're good there. There's Narset. Now I just have to worry about Bitter Blossom, which I am genuinely worried about, don't get me wrong. Alright, so here's a creature for you. Draw step. Imita Tourach. Bang! That feels good. No Uro in the graveyard. Oh, that's hot. They're Hellbent, which means I can minus Teferi to bounce Fairy Rogue token. I'm going to re-Teferi anyway. Aggressive iteration, hell yeah. This is a delight. And then blue, white. Oh, I need to leave up blue for Murktide. Teferi, bounce, Bitter Blossom. Alright, they're just conceding. Don't even need to see the Murktide. That was fun. 2 back to basics in the deck. We saw those. That's going to be up to the Red Blast or the discard spells to handle. The second Plague Engineer, now that I've seen Bitter Blossom, is even better. Maybe Strix is, like, not great. Mentor seems pretty exciting, though they're an Abrupt Decay deck. But I'm giving them a lot of targets for Abrupt Decay. There's a good chance Mentor is worse than Baleful Strix, though. The Baleful Strix is kind of meeting them on their own battlefield. They're a deck with all 8 Strixes, to my knowledge, and Monastery Mentor is just an entirely different animal. Okay, I like Mentor, I've decided. Is Strix the cut? I feel like my Inquisition really set up that whole game. Or Thoughtseize, or whatever discard spell I cast. Really set up that whole game. Wait, did I submit 61 last time? Like, I added Plague Engineer just now, and it was 62. Did I fire in with 61 last time? I was kind of down to the wire and making decisions. We've seen they're an Endurance deck, so maybe Snapcaster Mage can chill. That makes sense to me. Let's go a little thinner on that. Okay, Imita Tourach, but not the mana to cast it. Expressive Iteration, but not the mana to cast it. Brainstorm's got to tie this room together. I'm keeping. Let's go. We're on the draw. Put that extra card to use. Paid off immediately. I'm just going to lead on C in case I need to brainstorm. Like, I think it's more likely I'd want to brainstorm than Swords to Plowshares this turn, and that's the choice between my 2 black sources. Oh, that was an insane draw, because even if they slam back to basics here, my Red Blast can pick it off. Just please don't have Veil of Summer, which would be a pretty awkward card to have in your Shardless Agent deck, but it is powerful. He's just going to snake in response. There's a snake. And show me back to basics in the graveyard. Oh, Force of Negation, pitching Force of Will. All right, we got 2 cards either way. and we cleared out the free counter magic. So if their plan was back to basics with counter magic, then we just broke that up. Shardless Agent, got a Brainstorm out of the deal. Okay. Taking one here. Is this a rogue? It is a rogue. Okay. I should have named rogue last game, because the fairies are also rogues. I feel like I should just plow Shardless Agent. Or I could Plague Engineer on rogue. I could Plague Engineer on Snake. That's just a Snake. I'm going to Engineer on Snake. I'll take the guaranteed 2-for-1 here. Yeah, the Bitter Blossom tokens are fairy rogues, and I did not consider that Shardless Agent is a rogue also. I'll accept this block too. That creature can recoup, stabilize the board. I'm not mad about it. Baleful Strix, okay. Glad that wasn't a Snake. But unfortunate that it's a Baleful Strix. And Ponder. Oh, no, my Hymn to Tourach got Force of Negation, so Snapcaster Mage would not be a sweet draw here. I spoke too soon. I was about to say Snapcaster would be a sick draw here to him them, but nope. I lied. I think I should Brainstorm here. See what's cooking. Oh, another hymn. Fuck yeah. Alright, I'm gonna put back Flooded Strand and Expressive Iteration. So I put back Flooded Strand and Expressive Iteration in that order. Iteration is guaranteed to hit Flooded Strand next turn for the extra card. Here's a hymn for your face. Discarded a Grist and a Ponder. I like those cards going away. Grist is the card in their deck I'm most afraid of, and it's not even close. Like, Back to Basics has all sorts of cool text on it, but, I mean, whatever. I could snap him here, but they are showing Endurance. Getting them Hellbent's pretty exciting, though. Now I set up this Expressive Iteration. Let's use it. Oh, nice. Jace in my hand. Inquisition on the bottom. Exile the land. And I'm just going to pass the turn from here. I got life points to work with. Next turn I can snap him with Pyroblast backup. Not that Pyroblast helps against Endurance. Touching in the upkeep. Play to land. Still 2 cards in hand. Wither Bloom draining me and picking up a land. Okay. They did spike an Uro. That's a tilt. And left up the mana to do it. Well done. It's going to resolve and I'll plow it. I don't have like a surgical lined up here, so Pyroblasting it isn't a good answer. But that's what plow's in the deck for. There's the land they just picked up with the Wither Bloom. They get to attack me for some damage. I'm going to fetch Triome in my end step. Just get that card into play. Okay, now that they don't have mana up, Snapcaster is going to work. Because even if they do have Endurance, they have to pitch to cast it, and that gets the 2 cards out of their hand either way. Veil of Summer is the thing I'm worried about right now. Land, Abrupt Decay, okay. And Snapcaster can trade with Shardless Agent, my Hellbent opponent, drawing off the top. Still just firing in. I'm going to take the trade. Okay, so I can Jace with Pyroblast backup here. There he is. Let's get Brainstorming. Okay. Do I want a Thoughtseize at this point? I don't think so. Surgical could play. I fetch a Black Source here. Underground Sea. Play a land. Shardless Agent. They've cast 1. Grist is still in there. I'm trying to think of what card beats me the most, and I think it's Shardless Agent. I'll pay the iron price to Surgical Shardless Agent. Abrupt Decay, Polluted Delta is the hand. Okay, not good. And there's a Grist, 2 Uros left in this deck. Land Abrupt Decay is the hand. Let's go. They are attacking Jace. Brainstorm. Looking for a Murktide. Don't need Thoughtseize. Don't need Fetch Land. Fetch. Get Tundra. Cast another Brainstorm. Okay, there we go. Put back land and Teferi. And then I can spin into these. Teferi in my hand. Land on the bottom. Exile land. Play land. Play Teferi. Don't love bouncing Baleful Strix, but Abrupt Decay is going to kill my thing anyway. Also buys me a turn with Jace around. I can counter Strix on the way down. No, we're good there. I got Red Blast. I got 2 lands. Let's use them. Corrupt Decay found a target. Land. Just gotta manage my clock now. I'm under 5 minutes and they have 15. I've been talking a lot, thinking about a lot here. Counter the Strix. A Force of Negation. It's better to blast the Force than it is to blast the Strix because I am a Murktide deck and having spells in my graveyard matters. Okay, they are now in top deck mode against a Jace. Blue, red. Put Teferi in my hand, Ponder on the bottom, exile Murktide Regent. Cast Murko. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's that. Plus you with Jace. Do not put that on the bottom. They have a fetch land. I'm trying to level them here. Ponder. That. Okay. I'll take the Polluted Delta because I still have a land for the turn, which casts Teferi. White, blue, colorless. Bounce target, nothing. And pass the turn. Let's go. They didn't shuffle the Brainstorm. Bold. Yeah, that's a game I like to play. If my opponent has a fetch land, I never bottom the first thing with Jace. But they either didn't think of it or didn't believe me. And either way, they were paid out there. Oof, paid out big time. You know what they say, play stupid games. I played stupid games. Okay, Baleful Strix. Black, blue. Teferi plus Jace, Brainstorm. Put back Underground Sea and back up to Teferi. Land. Fetch. Last land in the deck. Black, blue. Snapcaster Mage. I think I'm just gonna pass for now. Yeah. Yeah, the clock is my concern right now. I don't think I'm losing this game based on the cards that we have. Okay, that was a crazy attack. I think they just need every Death Touch creature in play, but they disagreed. Kaito. That's why I left up Snapcaster Mage. That Pyroblast. Oh, that's why they attacked. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. They're just trying to draw a card. Counter target spell if it's blue. That one. And a card left my graveyard. So sick. I would have missed that in real life, 100%. Back to basics. Yeah, okay. I got Red Blast in my deck. I got Teferi in play, plus Teferi, Brainstorm with Jace. Put back these 2 lands, Swords to Plowshares, you, and start attacking. Now I'm just F6'd. Please don't draw a good card. Come on. Draw for turn. Minus Teferi, send the... Oh, Quaddle has Flash, never mind. Plus Teferi, or Brainstorm with Jace first. Let's see where that goes. Okay, put those lands back. I can plus Teferi, attack with Snapcaster. That's stopping their draw step. They draw. I'm going to hit them with Thoughtseize. Take the Strix. Your hand is a land. Draw for turn. Minus Teferi, bounce Quaddle. Brainstorm with Jace. Put 2 lands back. Inquisition, I'm just going all in here. I could have done the exact same play on the back to basics. I'm just going to hope they don't draw Witherbloom command. All right, it's now my turn. Going into combat. And with exactly 1 minute to spare, made it happen. That was a sick match. Just 2017 Magic. Blue soup from a previous time. On to the next one. I'm on the play in round 2 with the saddest Ponder. Blah. I'm going to mulligan this. There's no world. Oh god, the mana base is catching up with me. Yeah, I mean, this is a 4-color deck without Deathrite Shaman in it, so this is what you get. Okay, I'm going to send one of the expressive iterations. I could send the Ponder. I could just go all in on expressive iteration. Like bottom Teferi and Ponder, use the iterations to catch up. So I think sending Triome iteration Triumph to Fairy. Oh god. If they are a Wasteland deck, I'm going to wish that I kept Triumph. If they're not a Wasteland deck, I'm going to wish I shipped it. Okay, let's bet. I have Ponder that can also hit land drops. Let's do the thing. I'm protecting my red source because there's fewer of them than blue sources, and I really need this iteration to happen. Okay, there's a land. We're not dead to Wasteland anymore. I was also just thinking and stacked that wrong. I'm drawing Snapcaster Mage with Brainstorm under it, and I should be doing that in the other direction. I've also already incinerated a full minute and 17 seconds on my clock just talking about my opening mulligan decision. I gotta tighten up if we're doing this all day. Okay. Well, there's that. Here is Polluted Delta. I can't iteration now, but I can Brainstorm if they try to waste again. A Scalding Tarn Wasteland deck. Is it actual Delver? Is this some soup deck? If it is actual Delver and they just didn't do anything with their first mana, that's kind of surprising. Ooh, oof size large. Brainstorm, no land drops. We have a Brainstorm locked opponent. I can Brainstorm now because if they daze, they're going to have to discard so many cards. Okay, I don't actually want Snapcaster Mage. Not for a while anyway. And I'll stack the iteration on top so I can draw that. Discarded a Lightning Bolt. Let's get a peek under the hood here. Inquisition U. Hopefully we can take a Ponder, something that would shuffle away the Brainstorm lock. Okay, so we have iteration, 2 Ponders, bummer. Pyroblast, Force of Will. I am going to take a Ponder. So if they can do 1, that's enough. Like, maybe I just take Brainstorm then. If they can Ponder into a land, then Ponder again. They wouldn't want to Brainstorm like that. I am going to take a Ponder. And I'm going to fetch Badlands. Or is there... Oh no, Underground Sea. No, I already have an Underground Sea. Scrubland. Yes, Scrubland. There we go. That's the one. Blue, black, Baleful Strix. Let's go. They have Pyroblast in hand. I am hoping that they don't end up with mana up this turn. I expect a Ponder. They are seeing new cards, so Ponder Shuffle. And then what? Did you hit? Not quite. They know what my top card is. I don't. Okay, so they're kind of burning out over there. Red, blue, aggressive iteration. Is this worth a Force of Will to you? Force pitching Brainstorm. Okay, sure. Brainstorm, Force of Will are gone. And here comes my attack. I see the Pyroblast for my next iteration. This is actually lining up kind of poorly, despite how screwed they are. But one of the rules of Magic Theory is that screw beats flood. If my opponent digs out of their mana screw and starts casting spells, they're going to be in a better position than I am with this handful of stuff, all these lands and no spells in my hand. So we need to make this one work. Red, blue. Here we go. Expressive iteration number 2. That's a lot of lands. Okay. Volcanic Island in my hand. Or no. Fetch land in my hand. Bottom Volcanic Island. Fetch land in exile. And then I can Brainstorm. Get rid of the fetch land in my hand. Turn these into spells. Oh, fuck yeah. Those are spells. Put back these 2 lands. Play my Flooded Strand. And Baleful Strix is ready to consume this Dragon's Rage Channeler. If they want to Pyroblast, they could probably Murktide their way out of... Okay, that works too. Yeah, they could Murktide off Delirium or kill the Strix. Those were the options. They have cast Brainstorm, so I don't know that these are the cards in hand anymore, but they are pretty good cards. And I do need to shuffle. I'm going to get this Savai Triome here. That Pyroblast is actually jacking me up pretty good. Let's find a white removal spell. Alright, not mad about Brainstorm. If they want to fight over this, if they Pyroblast this, then all hell gets unleashed. And if they don't fight over this, I have this grip full of cards. I'm going to put Force of Will, Snapcaster Mage on top, and then I'm going to go Thoughtseize, Swords to Plowshares, Murktide Regent. That's my plan. Force of Will, Snapcaster Mage. Thoughtseize you. Murktide, Pyroblast. Double Murktide is scurry. I'm going to take Pyroblast. I guess I don't need to Swords to Plowshares this thing if I'm putting Murktide Regent in front of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so they have 2 Murktides and Expressive Iteration. I can hold my Swords to Plowshares, eat the Dragon's Rage Channeler. If they can't delve off Delirium, then I get to eat DRC for free here. 1, 2, 3. I can't imagine they have 5 instants and 5 sorceries here. Oh wow, they left Delirium. So I get a free launch. Could that have been avoided? I don't know. I'm not going to waste my clock figuring out if they could have played around that, but I'll just eat the thing. And Swords to Plowshares. Even if they drew Force of Will, I can Snap Plow, and I'm not worried about it. I could Snap Iteration right now, or I could wait and then Snap Plow their Murktide, and that's probably better. Iteration. Yeah, that's not the fight. They have another main deck Pyroblast. What are they digging for here that's not, like, put Murktide Regent in front of my Murktide Regent? There's a Steam Vents, shock that right in. Delver of Secrets, you got it. There's the Force of Will that was on top the whole time. I'm going to Iteration here. Iteration grows Murktide Regent. Now I have Force of Will for their Murktide Regent. I left white open instead of blue. Let's see if that burns me. Days. Okay. I'll pay the 1. Not going out that easy. Okay. Baleful Strix in my hand. I'm to Tourach on the bottom. And play my land for turn. Then attack with a 9/9. Delver, what do you got for me? Delver reveals Ponder. I can force through a Daze, and I will force Murktide Regent. There is not a better card in their main deck, I promise. Bang. Okay. The removal heavy deck with also Murktide Regent just beat multiple Murktide Regents. I like that. They were also Brainstorm locked and didn't really do anything for the first 4 turns of the game. So I'll take it. Okay, Prismatic Ending. All the Pyroblasts. Hydroblast. Probably want Narset here. Nile Spellbomb can mess with Delirium and delay Murktide Regents, but I'm not going to fuck with that. Plague Engineer on Human is pretty potent against Delver, but I'd be surprised if I have enough cards to cut to make that a reality. I don't think I need Inquisition and Thoughtseize anymore. Like, I have so many answers to Murktide Regent. Like, Inquisition and Thoughtseize, I guess I get information out of them, but that's most of what I get. Taking an Expressive Iteration is pretty powerful. I'm sure I don't want Jace. I'm going to cut all my Force of Wills and play to the board. If they show me Blood Moon in game 2, then I'll bring some forces back in, but until I see that, I'm not going to respect it. Right, so I have up to 9 cards that I could cut here. That does make room for the Plague Engineers. Now I can decide if I want to leave in some combination of Force of Will and discard spells. I'm sure I don't want Jace, but I'm bringing in 8 and taking out 9 at the moment. I can keep 1 Thoughtseize in the deck, or 1 Inquisition in the deck. Thoughtseize gets Murktide, but it also deals 2 to me, which could matter a lot. Force of Will does give me some protection. It's actually kind of tricky. I'll leave a Force of Will in and submit the rest of these. Being on the draw, I get an extra card, so if I have to pitch to force, it's not that bad. And also, I'm less likely to... Like, proactive spell like Inquisition feels like it would be better on the play, and a reactive spell like Force better on the draw. I'm going to keep this hand with 3 Swords to Plowshares in it against Delver. Scalding Tarn. They got a 1-mana play this time. Delverino. Every time I play against Delver, I'm reminded how little I miss Ragavan. Fuck that card. I'm so glad it's gone. Even if this thing flips, like, Revealing Days, like, that is the nightmare scenario, and I'm still just like, it's just 3 damage. Right, DRC. Delver gets in. I'd like to find some lands, though they missed a land drop, so I'm pretty cool with that situation. Plow the Delver. That one's bigger, though the card selection from DRC is not irrelevant. Force pitching Narset. Okay. Aggressive, but I feel you. I think it's reasonable to be aggressive like that when you are trying to hit land drops anyway, and you have 2 creatures to my nothing. The only thing I'd be really distressed to see here is Wasteland. Okay, just nothing. Pass. Ooh. Maybe next turn. Okay, I'm gonna go into their upkeep and Swords to Plowshares there. This turns off Force of Negation as a hit. Blue and Daze. Okay, you get your DRC activation. I'm gonna take this opportunity to cast Brainstorm. There's a land. That's good. This is a lot of expressive iteration. This is not a Hymn to Tourach game, so I'm gonna put back those 2 and then fetch and pay for Daze. I think I want to do this off of Scrubland. Make sure I have 2 white sources. Okay. Scrubland. Yes. Okay. Okay. That was an interesting phase. Okay, Brainstorm. There's only 2 card types in the graveyard. One of them's already instant, so this thing is unlikely to get Delirious this turn unless they find a Mishra's Bauble. And Plague Engineer. I'll slam Plague Engineer if it's a 1/1, and I'll Snap Plow if it's a 3/3. Okay, there's the bauble. Snap Plow it is. Oh, a bummer. So in my upkeep, there's going to be a draw trigger. I could Snap Plow now so they don't get to draw a card, but that plays into Daze. Like, I can reduce the likeliness they have Force, or I can push into Daze. And you know me, I hate playing into Daze. Not doing it. Oh, cool. Now I beat Force of Will, but I'm back to not beating Daze. Okay, blue, colorless. If they have Force and Daze, they get me here. They do need both. Wow, your dingus. Cool, just fucking happened. I'm not on the aggro Pyroblast strat. I'll save that for a Murktide Regent or the next Delver. The next Delver, never mind, gets chewed up by Plague Engineer. Did not shuffle. Found the land they were looking for. I also found a land I'm looking for. I'm not just going to Snapcaster or Iteration into this open Pyroblast if I can help it. So what I can do is play Plague Engineer on human. This does not get Pyroblasted. A Delver is a human wizard on the front and a human insect on the back, and Dragon's Rage Channeler is a human shaman, I believe. Yep. A Wasteland. I wonder if they need their mana more than I do at this point. I'm going to float blue to send them off the scent of Pyroblast. Like, I have red mana still out of my fetch land if I need that. Nope. Just keep hitting land drops. Just going to attack and hold up my reactive elements here. I have Pyroblast, Snap Plow with Pyroblast backup. I'm not going to get Murktided. I might get Blood Mooned. I haven't seen a basic land out of them yet, though. Murktide Regent. Counter target spell if it's blue. It's going to start with that. Now, Pyroblast is also in my pool of Snapcaster cards. Brainstorm's not really what I want. I'm going to go red, blue, and Expressive Iteration here. It could get Pyroblasted. Oh, it didn't. Nice. Prismatic Ending in my hand, Underground Sea on the bottom, exile Baleful Strix. Easy money. Back with my 2 creatures. Fetch a blue land here. I think I have enough black. I want to leave red up. Or white. Sure, it's Tundra. Blue, black. Baleful Strix. And continue hitting land drops. Nice. It would require something like Blood Moon to win the game at this point, I think. I guess if this is a Murktide Regent and they can kill Baleful Strix and counter Snapcaster Mage, then I'm in trouble. Probably wanted to fetch Triome in the end step there, but we'll make it work. I'm going to Brainstorm first, because Ending and Plague Engineer aren't good against Murktide. Hydroblast, not a bad card. But these lands, nah. And now I can Snap Plow, and I can counter... Oh, I should have Snap Pyroblasted. I'm going to give them 6 life. I don't need to give them here. Bummer. Yeah, just with these same lands, I could have Snap Pyroblasted instead of Snap Plowed. Whoops. They got something. It must be Flusterstorm. Oh, okay. Brainstorm. Looking for a Force of Will. Didn't have it. Okay. I'll attack with my creatures. I got some extra life points to make up here. Whoops. All right. Basic island confirmed. Expressive iteration. Is it time? I think it's time. I'm gonna get volcanic island and hydroblast this thing. Bang. Rebang. All right. That was gonna get that eventually. But there is a basic island sighting. Blood Moon is live. Exiled Misty Rainforest, but already played a land. I'm not going to fetch Savai Triome because I'm at the point of the game where if I draw it, I'd rather cycle it than have it in play. Oh, we're at the point where we're Pyroblasting in play Snapcasters. I love it. I'm going to play another Plague Engineer. I'm going to name Human again. I don't think they have another creature type I would want to name. Like, I could name Dragon and just make Murktide slightly smaller. But I don't think that's where the race is going to come down to. I guess I'm worried about, like, bolt one of these and then deploy a bunch of humans. I could actually lose this game. Oh yeah, there's the Lightning Bolt. I could lose this game to Murktide Regent, Lightning Bolt your Baleful Strix. It's a 1-turn clock. Luckily they didn't have that, and now I'm not dead to Murktide anymore. Alright, they're at 2. Feeling good. I can beat a Murktide. I can attack through a Murktide. Like, I don't even need to remove or counter it. I could just slam into it, and I'm winning with damage. Don't care about Blood Moon. I can even still cast my Reb with Blood Moon in play. And they've had enough. Check the Beats Delver box for this deck. On to the next round. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I am on the play in round 3. I'm going to keep this hand with discard spells and cantrips. I can lean on Underground Sea, planning to Inquisition now, Brainstorm next turn, or I can lean on Scrubland, planning to get wasted. I think I'm going to play around Wasteland. Ooh. Chrome Mox, Lion's Eye Diamond, Ottawa, Soaring City, Sappers, and Scary. Okay, this is a... I played against a deck like this recently. Oh, Urza Saga. Yikes. Yeah, I did play against a deck like this recently, and it's just like a turbo crazy stompy build of Echo. Alright, there's Saga. There's LED. There's Chrome Mox. And there's Days Undoing. Okay. Yeah, this Teferi is going to be a turn too late, unfortunately. Baleful Strix is a magic card. Maybe I'm supposed to Brainstorm there to make sure Teferi arrives. Ooh. These are some sizable constructs. Land? Okay, we had the land. We're good. I can bounce Urza Saga. I can bounce Chrome Mox. I can Brainstorm. Like, I'm worried if I put the Teferi into play, they'll just get Pithing Needle naming Teferi, and it undoes all the work I did. Or I'm planning to do with it, so I'm going to Brainstorm. Thoughtseize, I know their hand is 2 lands, so I'll put back Thoughtseize, Brainstorm, and just play Strix. Yeah, they might just get a Shadow Spear to try to smash through the Strixes. If they are, just like super heads up and get Pithing Needle on Teferi because they see what colors I'm in. That's pretty serious. Let's see what level they're on. A pair of 5/5s. Retrofitter Foundry. Yeah, that might be worse. Okay. They're willing to trade off with my Death Touch creatures. I like that. Willingness to trade a member of society. Teferi can bounce the other construct token. Land is nice. I could Thoughtseize, or I could wait until their next draw step. I think I'll wait till they'll draw step. And I'm going to leave back Baleful Strix because they could use Lion's Eye Diamond to make a servo and clear Teferi, which I don't want to happen. Definitely don't want that to happen either. Of course, pitching Snapcaster. I'm going to fetch Triome right now to make sure my mana is perfect, even though there's a Brainstorm in my hand. Like, it's fine. We'll make it work. I need a Prismatic Ending. I can Brainstorm. I think I should Strix first. Oh, Murky Rage. Yeah, wasn't thinking about that one. Up in their draw step. I can Brainstorm now. None of this is where I want to be. I'll put back the Plows, and I'm just going to Thoughtseize in their draw step. I can afford to attack with one of these Strixes. It has a friend now. I think I do need to Thoughtseize and not Inquisition, because like Karn might be a thing that they have. Urza. Let's have a look. Echo of Eons and Force of Will. That sucks. Well, I will take your Force of Will. Does this matter? If they... Yeah, I'll take the Force. You can leave Echo in hand. They're probably just going to Echo here, I would imagine. I'll block with a Strix. Yep, nothing to lose. Yeah, that happens. Round we go. No Force of Will. I may have just lost. There's Narset. If you have another Echo, I'm dead. Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay. They are going to correctly identify that I would have countered the Narset if I could counter anything. Commit to memory. Yep, that is the same thing. Yeah, all right. We went from way ahead to dead. Welcome to Combo Decks. I guess I have to put a damage on Narset. I clicked through my second main. Probably should have played that land. Okay, we're not getting comboed. Prismatic Ending is pretty good. I can plus to Fairy, and I could wipe out Narset if they go for another spin. Could hold back Strix. I guess Strix should have just been attacking. Made a servo. I'll block one of these. Your Spellbomb, okay. Do I want to wipe out Narset or Retrofitter Foundry? I think it's gotta be Narset. None of that feels good. Alright, deck, pay me out for that decision. Nope. I am gonna try to bluff interaction here, because if they sink all their mana into Retrofitter Foundry right now, they can make a 4/4. They can also make 3 1/1s, so... Alright, I've lost this game. Yeah, that one turn window where they drew Echo, and I couldn't beat it. It could have spun me into Force and like fought over Narset, but that didn't happen, so woof. Decks like that are built to crush decks like this. Okay, Meltdown's in, Pyroblasts are in, Prismatic Ending's in, Swords to Plowshares, probably not great. Hymn to Tourach's a little dangerous because it can put Echo in the graveyard. But if it goes in the graveyard on my schedule, I could Surgical it. Plague Engineer can name Servo and turn off Retrofitter Foundry. Narset helps win this fight. Force of Negation helps not get shit murdered. Baleful Strix is pretty low impact. Yeah, I think I want to cut the hymns and leave in the spot discard. Those discard even really how you beat this deck. I mean, clipping a Narset's a pretty big deal, so yeah, probably. Force is important. I think Strix can chill. Strix is bad against Narset, and also their deck isn't full of creatures. Is Snapcaster worse with the plows out? No, because I still have Meltdown, Ending, all this other stuff. No, that's still good. I got 2 more cuts if I want to bring all these cards in. Maybe I just bring in 1 Plague Engineer to dig for if they get their Foundry, but they're a Saga deck, so they are going to have their Foundry. But I have Meltdowns now, so that helps win that fight. I don't need everything. And I'm going to cut an Inquisition, because I'm just out of things to cut. And I think that's the weakest thing left in the deck. Okay, in we go. No lands at all. Mulligan. I can keep this. I'm going to put Inquisition on the bottom. And I'm going to ponder up some more lands. Scrubland does cast Thoughtseize. Okay, I can force pitching Ponder. And then I can Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize you. See what you're working with. Your deck has Pyroblast in it. That's terrifying. Days Undoing, I'm less worried about without Hull Breacher involved. So I'll take the Hull Breacher. And I guess I should Ponder. Still looking for mana here. I didn't find it. Good Ponder. Shuffle that. There we go. Okay. If they just slam Days Undoing, I'm going to let it resolve. That's not what happened. Prismatic Ending. I could Brainstorm and turn Prismatic Ending into a better card, or I could just end the Lion's Eye Diamond. I think I like that. It makes a lot of the draws in their deck a lot worse. There's Ancient Tomb. Now I'm a little scared of Hull Breacher. This deck is impressive at how quickly it outclasses everything I'm doing. And I'll just keep hitting land drops. I can hardcast Force now. So much fucking mana. I am not going to fight over this. It ends the turn. My hand's already bad. Yes, thanks for the layup. Fresh hand. Draw for turn. Okay, I can Iteration. I can Ponder. Ponder gets hit by Hull Breacher. Iteration doesn't, so I'm going to Iteration. Red Elemental Blast. Don't mind if I do. I would like a Teferi in play, but... Oh, shit. Fuck! I clicked on it like it's Ponder. I clicked on it like it's Ponder. Can I Control-Z this? Oh, good. Oh, good. Red Elemental in my hand. Okay. I was resolving Ponder. I almost blew it. I guess I am casting Teferi this turn. Holy shit. Okay, here's Teferi. They want to counter this. They can have it. Commit. Put target spell second from the top. Okay, you got it. That's there now. That puts Memory in the graveyard. I have Red Blast. I have a feeling might not be enough, but we're going to try it. Oh, yeah. Chandra Awakened Inferno. Sure. Yep. Got nothing to say about that. I'm just going to die very quickly to the emblems. All right. Time to fetch Savai Triome. And I got to, like, turbo out a Murktide real quick. But this could even kill that, right? Yeah, it can -X to kill a permanent. I didn't bring in my Hydroblast. Ice fucking cold. You love to see it if you're my opponent, and hate to see it if you're me. Unfortunately, I'm me. Meltdown, Prismatic Ending, Polluted Delta, shuffle that. Okay, there's Murky Rege. That is what we're looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana available. Not all of it is blue. I can Brainstorm here. Put back Underground Sea, and I guess it's Snapcaster Mage. And I have to fetch a blue source. And then Murk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards out of my graveyard. This tiny little Murktide Regent just gets eaten by Chandra immediately. Yep, just -6 to that. Exiled. Couldn't even get it up to 8, which would at least move the Chandra. Narset, I'm going to counter if I can. This deck is bonkers, and I'm here for it. There's Meltdown, not helpful. Gonna have to shred up another Murktide Regent here, and I only have the 2. Oh, there's one. Okay, Underground Sea, Murktide Regent, Thoughtseize. Do not shuffle. Thoughtseize you, opponent. Days Undoing, Days Undoing. So I'll take a Days Undoing, and I can ponder up Murktide Regent. Just ponder, take the Murktide Regent. Do not shuffle. I can Meltdown or Prismatic Ending. I could do both. I might have to do both. So Meltdown for a red. Oh, wait, whoa. That's the wrong red. Meltdown for a red. That takes out that thing. And then Prismatic Ending targeting Chandra. It doesn't work, but it does put a spell in the graveyard. And then Murktide Regent. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think Red Blast is the best spell to leave in my graveyard. Okay, here we are. If they Days Undoing, it removes Red Elemental Blast from my graveyard and Murktide gets bigger. But they're going to commit. Yeah, that's right. Or Memory, whatever this is. Okay. Murktide gets bigger. I did find a Force. They are dead on board. Force pitching Teferi. Did we do it? Are you out of answers? Please, Murktide Regent. Save me, Murk Daddy. Nope, no chance. Okay. They did tap a lot of Ancient Tombs this game. Murktide Regent was a one-and-done situation. I don't have a way to get Murktide Regent back from my graveyard, and the other one's in exile. And now I'm dying 2 points at a time. It's not good here. Okay. Blue, red, iteration. Put Pyroblast in my hand. Exile, or put Flooded Strand on the bottom. Exile Surgical Extraction, I guess. Brainstorm next. Try to make this playable. It is not. Fetch. Underground Sea. Inquisition you. 2 Echo of Eons. Okay. I couldn't beat 1. I can Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize Surgical. Puts me to 6. I'm dead in 2 turns. And whatever. Let's at least get this deck list on the record. Okay. Everybody get your screenshots ready. Here's the secret tech. 4 Hullbridge or 4 Narset. All of these double lands from Arcadian Masks, Urza Saga, Pyroblast, and the maximum Echo. There's 2 of Commit to Memories. There's 4 Days Undoing. And that's the whole deck. Oh, there's 4 Chandras. I never had a fucking chance. Okay, GG's. Full deck. And we are out of here. Yeah, 4x Chandra Awakened Inferno is no joke. I am on the play in round number 4. And I'm going to keep this hand on the supreme hope they're not a Wasteland deck. My plan is to fetch Underground Sea, Thoughtseize them, and then Brainstorm next turn. And you're not going to Wasteland me in between, because we have an agreement, opponent. Do you understand? Moment of truth. Oh, that's a lot of Wastelands. Shit. Oh, we're so dead. So dead. Okay. I kept 1 lander against lands. Maybe they won't play Wasteland. Okay, let's just draw a blue land. We're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. All right, not a blue land, but it's a land. It's a start. It set them back a turn on their Sylvan Library, which is another card that I cannot beat. Land. All right, all right. Always had it. Always had it. I don't know what you are all worried about. Like, you all need to settle down. I'm going to get Tundra here to maximize my possibility of having Sylvan Library or Teferi for this, or Prismatic Ending or Teferi for the Sylvan Library. So I can draw a blue land, a white land, or a Prismatic Ending here. Thoughtseize, just a turn too late. Goddenport, there's the library. Okay, deck. Blue land or white land. Okay, we did it. We did it, we did it, we did it. And by we did it, I mean we're going to see another turn without them drawing 3 cards. I think it should be... Oh, Scalding Tarns doesn't get Scrubland. Too bad. That's the one that I wanted it to be. I guess it's Underground Sea. Or do I just want another Tundra? Is white more important than black here? It's hard to say what's more important than what. I'm going to get Underground Sea just to spread it around. Fairy, send this thing. Another Swords to Plowshares, exactly what I want against lands. Fuck. Alright, that's even worse than just replaying the Sylvan Library. Now they get to replay... Oh, firing my Teferi. That was a gift. Oh my god, I get to Thoughtseize the Sylvan Library now? Oh, sweet relief. Oh my god, this turn. Do I even need to destroy the exploration? Okay. If I... blue-red off of Tundra, a white source still kills exploration. I think I need an iteration. Okay, disappointing. I'm going to put Teferi in my hand. Though Rashad Port's going to keep Teferi on lock for quite some time. Is Snapcaster Mage better? Yeah, Snapcaster dances around Rashad Port pretty well, and it adds to the board. So Snapcaster in my hand, Teferi on the bottom, exile him. And then I'm going to Thoughtseize your Sylvan Library. No loam, no loam, no loam. Is Valakut Exploration better or worse for me than Sylvan Library? They're both horrendous. I'm going to take Valakut Exploration because I do have Prismatic Ending in my hand. And if they don't tap my white, then I get to exile the library. Their hand is Dark Depths, Sylvan Library, Mystery Card. Crop rotation. Okay, they're just going in on Merit Lage. Fair enough. You don't get to port me and make Merit Lage. I hope they're panicking. Like, they're very far from dead here. Okay. Alright, yeah, they came to the right conclusion on that. They spun away the Maze of Ith. Like that. Okay, I'm gonna Brainstorm. Found a land, that's good. These 2 Swords to Plowshares can hang out on top of the deck. I'm okay with that setup. In place of Triome and Prismatic Ending your Sylvan Library. even get to attack for 1. The Maze of Ith is gone. Finding a second white source there was really important. They were a land away from porting me off white and then making Merit Lage. Okay, I'm gonna Snapcaster targeting Brainstorm here. Snapcaster Mage, target Brainstorm. And I get to draw for my turn. Then I can cast Brainstorm. It's gonna see Swords to Plowshares and 2 more cards. All of these are cards. Put back Ponder and Extra Plow. I'm gonna leave back Baleful Strix. Make it look like I'm trying to block with it. See if they commit to the Merit Lage. Cool. I put you in the crapper. Putting them to 37 is not exciting, and I'm still dead to a life from the loam. They said that was a accidental muscle memory situation, and they meant to copy their port. Like they were planning to copy port. I believe it. But they found another stage, so they can continue making that play if they want. I can Snapcaster and then Expressive Iteration. Do I want to do that? I'm drawing Swords to Plowshares, and there's a Ponder under it. And I have 2 chances to hit. Okay, blue. Guess I should tap Badlands, because if I Triumph contains everything Badlands does. Target Expressive Iteration. Off return. Cast Iteration. Found the land. Good. Ponder in my hand. Snapcaster on the bottom. Exile Polluted Delta. Play my land for the turn. Back with my creatures. I need like a Murktide Regent to really make this hand sing. I'm gonna get another Tundra here. I need to keep white sources up. I don't hate Teferi, but it's also not like good. I don't think I need a 3rd Swords to Plowshares. I'm actually gonna shuffle this. Snapcaster Mage has been really good. Like the incidental damage is not nothing. Okay. Copied their port like they planned to on previous turns. Okay, I'm gonna float blue, see if they let me go into my draw step. That's how you maximize Rishadan port. If you have 2, you do 1 in the draw step, or 1 in the upkeep, and then 1 in the draw step. That way I can't just float 2 mana for Snapcaster. Okay, but now I can Snapcaster, and I'm gonna target Ponder. Or do I want to target Prismatic Ending and clear out the Exploration? Like, is it better to push myself forward or try to hold them back? They're at 34 life. I'm going to push myself forward. Okay, Ponder, let's go. I'm looking for Murktide Regent, really try to rip this thing apart. And I did not find one. I'm going to shuffle this. Inquisition. You did not play a land last turn. Yeah! That had to be a spell because they didn't play a land last turn. And that was a nice one to clip. Oh no, that's bad. So bad. That's worse than Life from the Loam. Or equally bad. They're both real bad. Alright, I'm going to float blue. I'd rather move my draw step on the Brainstorm, because then Brainstorm sees the same number of cards as if it was in the main phase. And if I just let this tap, then they can tap another one in my upkeep. Like, tapping in the draw step is worse than tapping in the upkeep, but it's better to split the mana most of the time. Didn't do the draw step one. Okay, Brainstorm. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Just want a Murktide Regent. That's all I want in the whole world. Now what I want for them to do is draw spells. Like, even Loam I can tread water with for a while. Oh, right. Copying this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that puts them 1 closer to Field of the Dead. I hope they draw Crop Rotation. Alright, well, my wish is granted. They drew a Loam, which is a nightmare next turn, but does let me survive this turn, kinda. Yeah, that was terrible. I wanted, like, Crop Rotation, Sylvan Library, Valakut Exploration. Loam is really bad with Field of the Dead and Exploration. They have all of the things that kill me. There's only 1 port, so there's nothing to bluff anymore. Yeah! Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. Oh no, there's a Maze of Ith in the graveyard. There's still no chance. Damn it. I guess I needed to brainstorm into this. Yeah. The Maze of Ith is gonna shut me down. Yeah, too late. Maybe they'll forget about Mazavith. Nope, pointed right at it. Okay. Let me check the list, though I'm pretty sure I'm dead here. Yes, there is no way out of this. I guess I'll take another draw step, but it's not good. Disappointed. Yep, copying another Field of the Dead. Stage can become another Field of the Dead next turn. All right, I'm done. We can both save time here. What is my plan for all of this? Mentor's got to be involved. We saw Punishing Fire. That sucks. Surgical Extraction. Didn't see an Urza Saga. Should probably assume they're around. Force of Negation helps against Loam. Nile Spellbomb helps against the graveyard. Having 2 Plague Engineers in the list means I can name Zombie twice. It's thin, but it's there. If the game goes long enough, it could be a thing. Prismatic Ending beats on their permanents. Narset just in the maybe pile. Okay, so I have up to 11 cards I want to bring in. I'm going to cut Swords to Plowshares and him to Tourach. And Teferi's not great. I can go a little thinner on Force of Will. That's 7. Baleful Strix is like medium minus, but I will take it. Inquisition and Thoughtseize. They don't have any cards that Thoughtseize can't take, or can take that Inquisition can't. Like I think all their cards are 3 or less. That's 10. I know I'm exposing myself to Merit Lage here, but not only did they get blown up by Swords to Plowshares, they LOL'd in the chat about how it was a misclick. So they're going to play around Swords to Plowshares. And Narset was the maybeest maybe involved in the pile here. Yeah, this is defensible. Let's do it. No Narset this time. I don't think she's better than Teferi, though she does shut down Sylvan Library. Maybe I did want that. Too late now. The deck's already loading. Okay, I'll keep this. There's enough lands here that I don't mind snapping off Inquisition, and getting a discard spell off on lands on turn 1 can be pretty exciting, because most of the things that they want to do are on turn 1, whether it's Diamond or Exploration or Hold Up Crop Rotation, like whatever it is. Whatever spell they kept their hand on the strength of, let's have a peek. 2 Crop Rotations, Punishing Fire, and a Reb. I'm going to take one of these Crop Rotations. They do have the Wasteland. They can Crop Rotate for another Wasteland, hit my next one. They Groved instead. Alright. Deal. Meltdown's not what I'm looking for. I'm going to Ponder if they want to get aggro with this Reb. I don't mind if they do. Okay, the land is good. Brainstorm's good. Iteration's good. Basically, all these cards are good. I'm going to put the Brainstorm in my hand with the Iteration under it. We can see what opponent wants to do about this. That Punishing Fire is a pain in the ass because of Mentor, which is otherwise a wonderful card. Thespian Stage. Okay, that was drawn since I saw their hand. Then I don't think I want to just like Snapcaster into the Red Elemental Blast and then let them Wasteland whatever land they like the most. Okay, so this is Volcanic Island. I can play Mentor and Brainstorm it out of Punishing Fire range. They can rebuy Punishing Fire, but they need another red source to do that, which I don't see right now. Oh, they can also just Wasteland me. Shit. I messed this up. It's not too late, though. I can just do something different. Yeah, I can just, like, snap Ponder. Or I can snap Inquisition. That's better. Okay. They're going to counter the Snapcaster regardless, but I'm going to go for it. Like, if they don't Reb this, then I'll Inquisition the Reb. Let's have a peek. All right. Reb, Choke. All right, maybe I have to take Choke. Things have changed. Oh, they didn't want to protect their Choke with Red Blast there? I am impressed. They can't Crop Rotate into Dark Depths right now. They can do it next turn. But yeah, I guess I have to take Choke. But if they're planning to Dark Depths quickly, then they can't Wasteland me. Copied Grove, okay. They're settling in. Blast Zone was the draw. That one's hard to Punishing Fire. I'm going to attack. See if they're going to spew off a fire on this. They can simply make Merit Lage if I'm not careful here. I'm gonna Expressive Iteration. If they Pyroblast this, then they can't make Merit Lage this turn. That's a deal. There goes the Reb. And kind of holding on to the Brainstorm for this Mentor, but I think I need Spell Velocity to get Murktide Regent happening now. And Meltdown, this is not a Meltdown game. Expressive Iteration. I can decide if I want that or not next turn. Charging up Blast Zone. It's on 2. Okay. My opponent has made almost 0 of the decisions I would have made in this match. And it is more likely they understand this matchup than I understand this matchup. Yeah, that was a good timing because I showed them the Murktide Regent last game. Well timed on that one. Expressive Iteration. Not gonna lie, I forget what I put under Expressive Iteration. My brain is mush. I'm going to fetch it away, whatever it was. I have to get a white source here, just represent that I have an answer to Merit Lage, even though I don't. I think I just want another Tundra. And then blue, red. Yes, Iteration. Okay, I am no longer just dead. I'm gonna put the Force of Will in my hand and the Jace. Oh, no, 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 no. This is not Ponder. Oh my god. Every fucking time. All right. Force of Will in my hand. Jace on the bottom because I can't cast it and I would waste it otherwise. So Jace on the bottom, exile Teferi. Then I'm going to play Teferi. And Teferi can bounce my Snapcaster Mage. If I want to do that, I can counter. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to fight over that. For Punishing Fire, I'm going to just draw a card. I know Teferi dies to Punishing Fire, but that's okay. I have another Teferi. There's more where that came from. How is my clock so low? God, this deck is just melting my brain. Just trying to figure out what cantrips I'm casting and my mana. Like, I feel like I've been playing fast, but they have 17 minutes on their clock to my 10. Jeez. If they want to kill Teferi, they have to do it now. Which taps them out of Merit Lage for another turn, which is all I want. Just don't Merit Lage. And let me get my dragon down. Here's Mox Diamond. Not going to fight over that. Discarded a Wasteland. Happy to see that go. Crop rotation. Nah. That's what I'm worried about. No Merit Lage on my watch. They have another one. Played from the loam. Okay, yeah, that's terrible also. I got to rebog me. I draw Surgical, maybe? Nope, didn't even matter. Okay, I do have 6 mana, though, which is enough to Mentor, Teferi, bounce Mentor to protect it. Blast Zone can get up to 3 this turn, but I'll deal with that later. Underground Sea. Mentor, white. Colorless. Teferi, blue, white. Mentor triggers. And keep this Teferi. My Mentor back up. I don't even think this is good. In fact, I'm sure it's bad. The Punishing Fires are just smearing me. Yeah, that's fired. Loam picks up Stage Grove Port. Punishing Fires back in hand. Are you going to clear Teferi now? No. How about a bunch of spells? Like a cantrip that can just shred Mentor through the deck. That's what I want. If I can outmuscle Punishing Fire this turn cycle, that's what I want to do. And with Teferi's help, like even Expressive Iteration gets to do that. Dramatic Ending, absolutely not even a little bit helpful. I guess that's not all the way true. I can Mentor and pass, and then I can ending their Mox Diamond in response to a fire. And they have to rebuy fire. That does eat up a lot of mana on their own turn. Dredged Loam again, just hit Wooded Foothills. And there's 2 wastelands in this loop right now. Yeah, you can waste me off white. Prismatic Ending the Mox Diamond. Do what I can do there. Which is not much. Yeah, no Uro, no Loam, no way to recoup anything. My deck can't play Blood Moon. There's just not a lot going on here that's good for me. So rebuy fire, cast fire, rebuy fire. If there's a red source in hand, Mentor's dead anyway. Oh, passing the turn. All right, spells. Lots of spells. Expressive Iteration. Snapcaster Mage is spells, kinda. I could also just like cast 4/4 Murktide Regent, because this is going up to 3. That kills Mentor and Teferi. Yeah, that's not the spells I was looking for. Damage. Murktide Regent. Do I want to try to save? No, because the... Okay, here's a 4/4 Murktide Regent. Have fun with that. It easily dies to Punishing Fire. Oh my god. Even a 5/5 might have been like a chance. But yeah, they just put Blast Zone to 3. Blow up my Mentor and Teferi. This really is just 2017 Magic. This is what lands looked like before it had Urza Saga. In the Valakut Exploration's new, but this is just really feels like a match we might have played 5 years ago. At least Teferi is constricting their ability to just fire off Punishing Fires like crazy. There's the Blast Zone, as predicted. And they're zoning now before I can cast spells. I would love to draw an instant on my turn. They could start wasting me. Yeah, I would love to find an instant, like Brainstorm is probably the best one. Oh, Nile Spellbomb. That clears the Loam. I'll take that. Spellbomb. And I'm gonna bomb now and draw a card. Like, I just really want to keep things moving forward here. I wanted to draw an instant because then I could snap that instant in response to the second Punishing Fire and grow Murktide Regent. There's no spells in my graveyard currently to grow it. Even like Ponder is fine. Like if I Ponder into a land to snap Ponder, or just another Nile Spellbomb. Not that I'm mad about Nile Spellbomb. That does make their next turn a little weird. It's still, their next turn still works. It's just a little weird. They could also just waste my Black Source before they start anything. I'm gonna take the card. Yeah, this is just old school land squeeze nonsense. Rather than grind me out with Urza Saga, they're just like groving all of my threats, wasting all of my land, slowly taking me off mana sources. Okay, once again, that's not what I thought was going to happen. Let's see if they know how this works. I'm going to Prismatic Ending my Murktide Regent for 0. Then I can Nile Spellbomb myself to grow Murktide Regent. This play is fucking weird, but I hope it works. Attack you. Okay. Took the damage. Blast Zone is up to 4. Is that really the plan? You're going to Blast Zone my Murktide Regent? John Port's kind of shitty. I guess I want a Snapcaster right now and just push the... Oh, no. Punishing Fire. Not a thing. It's like, yeah, I'll just push damage. No, I won't. I really won't. What my deck needs is a Lightning Bolt. It's not a card that I play. If I cast enough spells this turn, Murktide could get lethal. And Hydroblast is an instant that I can cast. Alright, so I attack you. I can Hydroblast like literally anything, Spellbomb myself, put them to 2. It doesn't really change anything. I think the Hydroblast will be more useful against a Punishing Fire. Yeah, they really are Blast Zoning my Murktide Regent. Patience is a virtue. I'm gonna Snapcaster to push damage. Now I do actually have like some recourse for that with Hydroblast and the Graveyard Hate together. Okay, they rain. They Punishing Fire, regrow. I bomb. They regrow again. They Punishing Fire. Our target spell if it's red. I will do exactly that. There might not be enough mana to Blast Zone and fire. So they fire once. Oh, but that mana is still floating. So if I bomb, they fire again, and they have red floating. That they have exactly enough to do both. Miserable. I'll still make them do it. I do know how this works. I just can't do anything else. And because Grove of the Burn Willows is an activated ability, is a mana ability and not an activated ability. Well, it's an activated ability, but it's a mana ability that can even respond to Extirpate. Like that even beats Split Second. Disappointing. 1 mana short of getting 2 damage across right now. Punishing Fire is currently lurking in the graveyard. There is no cantrip, no spell of any meaningful kind in my graveyard. Okay. We're done here. I don't need to watch my clock run out while I just die to this. My opponent played super tight. This really did feel like 2017 lands, where it's just a prison control deck, and it's not like the Saga engine. It's not turboing out Merit Lage. There's no like Mana Bond 8 Bulch stuff going on. This was a very classic match of Magic to keep up with my very classic match of Magic. GG's opponent. That lands matchup felt pretty close to unwinnable. This deck might be hurting for a Zabo's Web if we're reaching back into the annals of history. I am gonna keep this hand. It's got lands, interaction, cantrips. Let's do the thing. I'm on the draw, by the way. Basic Mountain, go. Who are you? Are you Painter? Are you Burn? Let's find out together. Inquisition of Kozilek is a great way to start if they are actually Burn. Oh no, it is Painter. Okay. I am wise beyond my years. Okay, I'm gonna take the Goblin Engineer, because that one gets value immediately when it comes into play. Magmatic Channeler, I can plow. They probably think I'm a Storm deck, which is kind of fun. Like Badlands Inquisition, or maybe some sort of weird Reanimator deck. I imagine this Swords to Plowshares will be a surprise for everyone. And I'm going to fetch Tundra, the old Badlands Tundra, start, and clear this out. See you later. A Pyroblast in their hand is a little annoying, but I have enough blue spells I should be able to flush it out without too much damage to myself. I would love to cast Expressive Iteration right now, but I will settle for Ponder and see if they want to fight right away. Okay, perfect. I'm going to put Underground Sea on top of my deck, which casts Baleful Strix, which draws him to Tourach, which under that is Swords to Plowshares. So they're going to be hellbent facing down a Swords to Plowshares next turn. And the Plow can answer the Painter, and the Him is not something you can Pyroblast. Even if they played Painter this turn, I could put Him on the stack, they Pyroblast the Him, I Plow in response. This feels pretty good. I might want to attack first, just in case they get it in their head to Pyroblast my Strix on the way out, which I think would be like crazy aggro. But if their hand really is just bad, it might be the play. Into Tourach. Goblin Welder, Pyroblast in the bin. Glad to see those go. 2 mystery cards left. It's time to start piling on Expressive Iterations. I should probably fear Blood Moon from this deck. Just noting that. Until they show me a reason to think otherwise. Red and blue. Let's iterate. Snapcaster Mage to my hand. Volcanic Island on the bottom. Exile Flooded Strand. And I'm going to attack for 1. I'm going to leave up Swords to Plowshares rather than playing Strix this turn. There's no reason to lose when instead I could definitely not lose. But Taiga, what are you doing with that? I'm getting my Triome. Perfect mana. Stop wasting time thinking about mana. And let's iterate expressively once again. Bury you. Brainstorm in my hand. Bottom, exile. Bang. Back with Strix. And I'm going to play the other Strix this time. Blue, black. I still have Plow plus Force Blue card up by adding Strix to the board. Once upon a time, on the hard cast, oh, the one of Taiga paid off. Urza Saga. Alright, that's a card that can switch the matchup. This list is really bad against Urza Saga. I need to like bounce it with Teferi, and even that only buys a little bit of time. But I have the option to see a lot of cards this turn. So let's start doing that. On Teferi. Oh, you had Pyroblast. That's a good one. Sure. Brainstorm again. Inquisition is over. I think Force of Will's kind of over too. Fetch. I can still ponder into a Teferi this turn. Use Underground Sea to ponder. None of these are Teferi. I'm gonna shuffle. Murktide Regent. I didn't leave up any blue mana. Murktide Regent's a real nice one though. Yeah, so I will pile on the Murktide this turn. Gonna fetch in the end step. I want blue, blue, blue colorless, blue, red, and I do have that with basically any land. I'll get an extra Tundra. And Thoughtseize not important here. Blue, blue. Okay, Murktide Regent. I'm going to start with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's Big Daddy Mercs. And probably should have Thoughtseized first. But here come my Strixes. I can leave up Plow, Snap Plow. I'm going to Thoughtseize though. Let's just make sure. Whatever this is. Okay. Land. I have the life points to to be okay with that. There's a construct token. My prismatic endings will unlock this turn. There will be targets no matter what happens here. And checking their hand with Thoughtseize means that there's not a lot I need to worry about. Like, they would need to get Grindstone off of this and then have Painter and Pyroblast in hand, and I know they don't have those things. Worm Spiral Machine. Yeah, I'm going to Swords of Plowshares that. And I'm going to do it off Snapcaster. Snapcaster. This leaves the more mana efficient play in my hand. Plow. Zap you. That grows Murktide. So it's basically you only gain 5 life. Checkmate. Prismatic Ending, the Construct token. And I was about to pass the turn with Hardcast, Force of Will, and Swords to Plowshares up while bashing for 1,000,000. And the opponent sees the writing on the wall. They're done. I wish I knew if present day Painter decks were on Blood Moon. I assume they are. Hydroblast coming in, Meltdown coming in. Kind of like Mentor here, like Prismatic Ending a lot. Surgical is like okay. Plague Engineer on Goblin is not nothing. They do have 2 really important goblins in the deck. One of them's an X1. So I think going in on spot removal with the endings and the plows is better. There's the level system of if they name blue with Painter, my Red Blasts are good, but if they just pick a different color, then it's bad. I'm not going to bring in my Pyroblasts. Okay, awkward blue cards include Force of Will. Force of Will can be very important against the combo deck, but I have a lot of removal. Jace is probably mega clunky. I do like the discard spells a lot in this matchup. I kind of don't want to go to 0 forces. Not sure what I would cut instead. Like maybe a Strix. Expressive Iteration seems like it's going to be important. They might get Hellbent pretty quick. And then discard spells fall off. Okay, I'm going to cut an Inquisition, bring a Force back. Having at least 1 Force in the deck to cantrip for when you're ready feels good. Do I want Surgical Extraction? Is that better than Nile Spellbomb? Probably. Because it can come as a surprise. Versus the cantrip of Spellbomb versus the surprise of Surgical. Alright, this is what I'm doing. A 1-lander with Ponder and lots of cantrips. I'll keep it. If I see Blood Moon this game, I will bring in Forces for game 3. Bring them back. Yeah, this could just be Pyroblast being held up. But I'm not in a position to play around it. So here's my Ponder. Yikes. Shuffle that. Bad news, team. Once upon a time, found Painter Servant. There's a Saga. Uh-oh. This is the whole shit coming together. That resolves too. Entombing a Brea's Apprentice. Alright, deck, come on, land. Uh-oh. Brainstorm. Several lands and Swords of Plowshares. Okay, we got a land and Swords of Plowshares. This Teferi is starting to get clunky. Prismatic Ending is good next turn. I don't think Strix is going to help me much this game. It is a redraw, but blocking is not something I'm planning on doing. I'm going to get Scrubland because there's not a plateau to get. As much as I would have liked to save that plow for this Painter Servant that I see, I don't think I have the luxury currently. There's Painter. What color are we painting? They did just choose blue. Just fired it right off. Into Tourach. That's not good. They definitely have a Pyroblast. They wouldn't have named blue if they didn't. I'm going to brainstorm and hope that I can both trick them into not countering this and also pay out multiple spells. Shit, that's so close. We're going to lose, but That was almost what I wanted. I get to Thoughtseize them, and unfortunately my removal spell is Prismatic Ending and not, yeah, multiple Pyroblasts. Yeah, we're dead. All right, yeah, even if that was Plow, wasn't good enough. That was the squeaky clean Painter Servant hand. Beautiful turn 4 victory with multiple layers of protection. Okay, Force of Will. I am more interested in that than I thought I was. Monastery Mentor, probably too cute. I feel like I'm going to win this game with control cards, or I'm just going to lose. So Mentor can... I'm not going to like aggro cheese them with a Mentor is what I'm saying. Teferi's a lot better on the play than the draw, but still it is a 3-mana blue card. Okay, Teferi, you're out. We're doing it this way. Okay, I like the flurry of discard spells in this hand. I'm keeping it. Opponent kept 7. That's smart against the discard deck. No matter what, keep 7. Inquisition. Let's see how well I can collapse this thing. Okay, so they have Goblin Welder. They can turn 1 a Painter Servant if they want to jam it out there. Is that even good? I think I want to take Welder. I'll just work my way up the curve. They want to spew resources to get Painter into play quickly. I'm also a Swords to Plowshares deck. We'll see how that works. Your hand's pretty explosive, though. Really good Urza Saga hand. Lotus Petal, Ancient Tomb, Painter, Lion's Eye Diamond. Oh god, did you draw a Grindstone? Okay. Maybe I should have taken the Painter. Well played. Okay, got absolutely shithoused by a turn 1 through a discard spell. I did let them keep their Painter Servant, but Goblin Welder would have got the Painter Servant back if I took it the other way. Is what it is. A 2-3 record with this deck. I felt like all of those matchups, except for the lands one, were definitely winnable within the realm of like how our cards would line up. We could see how the plan would work. Lands, I just don't know what the plan is. I think you're just dead. You have to cheese with Murktide and hope they never draw Maze of It. The spells are certainly powerful. I did enjoy having Snapcaster Mage back in the mix, but we did play against an Endurance deck. We did play against a lands deck that hit us with Bojuka Bog 3 times in the same game. It's not free to put Snapcaster Mage in your deck these days. I'm glad we beat the Uro deck, though. That was the card I was specifically worried about in the deck tech. And we did emerge victorious against that one. I think there might be too much discard here. If that's like 1 Inquisition, 2 Thoughtseize, or maybe just like 3 Thoughtseize, no Inquisition, add another Prismatic Ending. Like playing to the board feels really important. Expressive Iteration was really good. That's certainly worth a splash in your Esper deck. I love casting him to Tourach. 3 is a lot of Teferi. Maybe one of those should be Narset. Like, I feel like I wanted another angle of squeezing or another angle of card advantage. In Teferi, with the instant speed discard was pretty hot. We did get to Thoughtseize and him to Tourach in various draw steps. That was pretty nice. Monastery Mentor is bad. Like, I keep saying this in my videos as it pops up, and you know it hurts me to say it. I am the Star City Games Monk token, but Monastery Mentor, decks just aren't built to shred spells like this anymore. That's just not how Legacy is played. There's no accumulated knowledge, no predict, no Sensei's Divining Top. You're just not triggering Mentor the way that you need to in these like Planeswalker heavy 3-drop, 4-drop, Preacher. Expressive Iteration requires specific timing, so you can't just like play Mentor and then Expressive Iteration on 5 mana the way you would jam an Accumulated Knowledge or a Predict. Mentor is just rough. I think we can find a better thing, like the Wandering Emperor, perhaps, or Sorin the Mirthless. Those are both powerful planeswalkers that I think are much more in line with what you're trying to be doing. I like both of those as jukes in my control decks. Just powerful permanents that generate additional permanents or additional cards. And this deck could actually play both. Like, you can pick your favorite or just play them both. You could even main deck Wandering Emperor and board in Sorin. Like, I think Wandering Emperor might be main deckable in Legacy. There's some powerful stuff there. Like, I would want to lean farther into Planeswalkers, I think. Or at least a little bit into Planeswalkers. Like, the win conditions in this deck, it's Murktide Regent. In Jace could technically exile a deck. You could get in there with Baleful Strix and Snapcaster Mage. But, like, Murktide Regent is the thing that takes chunks out of life totals in this deck. Especially if you're going to board out any number of Snapcaster Mage. If you see Endurance, like, that is a concern. Like, because Snapcaster Mage is one of your 3 win conditions in the deck. It's the second biggest one as well. So something like Wandering Emperor or Sorin in this main deck would really flip the script. And I'd probably want to see like Alpine Moon or Zabo's Web, like something to deal with lands. This deck is really bad against Saga. I mean, Meltdown helps in post board, but Saga felt like really horrendous every time it came down against me. Dress Down is a card that this deck could play. Not sure where you'd put it, but you could have it. Basically, I've just set a lot of individual examples of how this deck is mostly a 2017 deck. Like, this is a 2017 deck with Murktide Regent in it, where the Legacy format is doing like Urza Saga, Uro, their own Murktide Regents and more efficient shells. There's just like, Legacy is in a different spot than it was in 2017, and to play a deck that only uses one card that's been printed in the last 3 years rather than like 10 or 15, the power level really has to pay out, and I'm not sure that that is happening here. I think this is a perfectly fine blue soup deck. I think it's, you know, if removal spells and counter spells and planeswalkers are line up with your local metagame, this is full of powerful Legacy spells. As far as, is this particular mix of Legacy spells going to hold up in like a Star City Con event where you have to play 12 rounds to win the tournament, or a Grand Prix that's 2 days? I'm not sure. I think I'd want a higher floor on my deck, which means like Uro. And as far as being in the spirit of Czech Pile was a green deck. I mean, Dark Bant is as much of a blue soup deck as Czech Pile ever was. Hymn to Tourach is a card that Dark Bant doesn't play, but is strongly identified with the old Czech Pile decks. So maybe there's something there. I really wish there was a way to recur lands, like do something with your graveyard. I'm just so used to playing with Life from the Loam at this point. Like, that's just such a normal card in control decks, really important for the fair Wasteland decks. And this deck, if it gets hit with Wasteland, that card is gone. It's not coming back. You don't have Endurance to tuck it back in. You don't have Loam to pick it up. And that's rough. I'm going to cut off my rambling here, though. This is a perfectly presentable blue soup pile of Legacy playable cards. If it lines up with your local metagame, hell yeah, crush it. If you are just in love with Inquisition of Kozilek, Thoughtseize, and Hymn to Tourach, hell yeah, go for it. If you want to win a Legacy Grand Prix, I would probably include green in my blue soup pile. Uro is just that good. And that is just the way of things these days. TJW, thank you for sending me this deck. I love exploring blue soup piles. Figuring out the play patterns of this was a lot of fun. I do love discard spells. I miss them dearly. I'm looking forward to when they come back to Legacy. I keep trying to make Grixis Control happen because I love Thoughtseize so much. I appreciate you putting them in the same deck as Teferi so we could Thoughtseize draw steps. Love that shit. And Murktide Regent as a control finisher is a really good idea. That has legs. Murktide Regent probably doesn't go in the same deck as Uro. Don't tell my round one opponent that. But that's probably a little too much graveyard eating for one deck to support. But a control deck that doesn't play Uro so it can play Murktide Regent is really interesting. Really cool stuff here. There's something there. Explore it. Thank you all for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon, check out the merch, all that stuff. Join as a member. Help out the channel. I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next time.